Dr. Valerie Camille Jones, and I am a teacher at the Ron Clark Academy, and I am going to give you a classroom tour of my classroom. And Mr. Bernadin, Mr. Junior Bernadin, who is our technology specialist.
Hey everybody!
He is periscoping and Facebooking this because here's the deal. My room is gonna change. There's gonna be some things I can't tell you about yet, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to document the way my classroom looks right now. It's been like this for the last 5 years, and there's gonna be a new change. So, if you have visited the Ron Clark Academy and you've been to my classroom, in the fall it's gonna look different. I can't tell you how different, but it's gonna look different. So, we're gonna see how it looks now. So before we go inside, I wanna show you this. So there's an interesting story with the top of my door. So people that know me know that I love going to San Diego Comic-Con. Yes, I am a big geek, but I embrace my geekdomness because I love everything about X-Men, Wolverine, Marvel, DC Comics. I also love anything dealing with science fiction like Orphan Black or other TV shows like that. So, I was at Comic-Con about 2 summers ago, and Mr. Clark said to me, he sent me a text message, and he was like, why do you like Comic-Con so much? I'm like, because it's great. The studios are there, it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of great people in San Diego that I hang out with every year. And he was like, tell me specifically why you like Comic-Con. So I was like, let's see. Well, the Harry Potter stuff that happens, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, X-Men, all this stuff. And so when I came back to school, when school started, I came down the hall and saw all of this. And every single character I mentioned in text, Mr. Clark had Totem, who does all the artwork in our whole entire school. He's amazing, he's a genius. He had Totem put these characters all over my door. So I was really excited because before then we just had the calculator and that was it. So every classroom at the Academy is personalized for that teacher. You ready guys? Ready to come in my room? Come closer.
All right, somebody said Geeks Unite.
Yes! So next door is Mr. Thompson's class, and I would take you in there, but you gotta come to school to see that. So come on.
They said they're ready.
Yes! Okay, so first things first. You walk right in, and you see my read box. So everybody knows about Redbox, right? So I thought, why not make reading fun and important? And so I got the same kind of letters that is the letters for Redbox and use Readbox. And it's just regular, letters cut out and sticked on there. But this cabinet came from IKEA. So anyone can get a red cabinet from IKEA, throw a Readbox on it, and the students, for some reason, now that it looks like a red box, they want to actually check out the books that I have. And before, when it was a regular bookcase, they didn't care as much. So all the books here are books that I read. Yes, I read young adult fiction. I know. I do read grown-up books too, but I do read a lot of young adult fiction. And the kids check out books during the school year. So some students have books now over the summer, but this whole entire thing is always filled with students taking a little pen and then writing their name and checking it out. And I love it because it promotes reading, because people think, oh, she's a math teacher, she doesn't do any reading, but I love books. And Mr. Bernadin and I always take the kids out to see the movies. So for example, when the Divergent series movies come out, we give them a quiz after school, those who want to take the quiz. And if they pass the quiz with an A or above, they get to go to see the movie at the theater. We went and saw every single movie from the Twilight series and every single movie from Hunger Games, and we're leading up to the Divergent series. I'm excited because it's actually a 4th movie, even though there were only 3 books. Yeah. All right, so that's that. I love my little, come get this. I love this. If you're a tech geek like me, I love techie stuff. So does Mr. Bernadin, right?
Of course, of course.
So I love this because it's kind of like the iPhone. But speaking of tech, so I have 5 Promethean tables in my classroom. Ooh. I'm really, really excited about that Bernadin is one of our sponsors, one of our partners here at Brown Clark Academy, and they gave us these tables. And instead of like having one table per teacher, we put them all in my room. So I'm really excited that they let me do that. But come on over here. There are 92-ish activities already embedded on the table, and all the kids can play together. So you can have up to 6 users on the table. So they pick the activity, it loads, and they can do things with it. A lot of the activities on here are mainly for elementary. So if you're an elementary school teacher, a lot of things kids can do. And I teach middle school and 2 high school classes here at the Academy because our 7th and 8th graders take high school courses. So I have to go onto this website called Active Table Builder, and I can change the activities that are here to make them higher level. So that's kind of cool. All right, moving on. So, my boxes. Okay, so when I first got hired at the Academy, I thought that, let's see, in Mr. Clark's room, he has this red button. I can't tell you what it does, but it's pretty awesome. And the 5th graders love this red button. Like if he can push the button, they just are so excited. So I thought when I got hired that I would get a red button too. Like I thought it was what everybody got. I wanted mine to be pink, not red, but still I wanted a red button. So Mr. Clark was like, no, that's my thing. You gotta get your own thing. And I was like, okay. So I went to IKEA. I knew my room was gonna be a video game room. So I went to IKEA and I actually got some shelves from IKEA. And instead of turning them sideways when you put things on top, I turned them upside down. So they're hollow inside. So to get my kids really excited, because I teach 7th and 8th grade, so they're all, too cool for school. So to get them really excited, what I do is I cover up these with construction paper, and in one of the boxes I put confetti. So when the class is something really great, I pick one student up, and they come up here, and just like in Mario, they have to decide if they're gonna pop this box, second box, or third box. If they pop the box with confetti, the whole class gets a class prize. It might be donuts next day, or cookies, or a class trip. I try to make it fun and exciting, but they have to earn the box, so it's kind of fun. Really cheap thing to do that anyone can do, but it's really kind of fun for the class. All right, let's see what else. Okay, class jobs. I don't know if you guys have class jobs in your classroom, but I thrive on my class jobs. So I made my little iHelp because I love technology. And these are all my class jobs the students have. And they can apply for them. I actually make them go onto my website, put in an application with their resume, their cover letter, all that, okay? They have to put it all in there, submit it online. I call them in for interviews. I interview each one, and then I hire them. And they actually get, well, the first year I did it, I had like these little stamp cards, so that way they can check off if they worked that day in the class. But last year, I found out about the Timekeeper app, which is a free app. And in less than, they just go in there and they kind of have a barcode on a lanyard with their class job on it, and they scan it every time they do their job in class. A lot less work for me, because it's all electronic and it comes in an Excel document. So if you ever want to do class jobs, get the app. Much less work. All right, any questions so far?
No, they're loving it. They're loving it.
Okay, so moving on. Oh, what do I start with? Okay, so this is one of my projects that I do. So I'm a project-based teacher. I love kids doing projects because it's a great way to take math and make it more creative. You got to think about it. Sometimes people feel that math is only calculations or computations, but math is so much more than that. You can use arts, music, dance, everything involves mathematics. So one of my projects is called the Geometry in Real Life. They have to pick a structure anywhere in the world. They have to do 4 things. Find out the history of that structure and how it was built and who built it and all that. And they have to write a paper about it. They have to build a model, okay? And they have to do it to scale, so they have to figure out the scale factor, figure out what scale it's going to be, but build a model of their structure. They have to do a presentation about their structure. And the last thing is they have to make a poster that shows on the poster where the math is infused into their structure. So I love this one. This was the building in Dubai. And that even had a little place where the helicopter lands, so I thought that was cool. And then another student did the Apartheid Museum in South Africa. And I kept this one. But when I tell you this is real concrete, like she poured cement. Like she poured cement and made this. It is so heavy. Like I couldn't even tell her to take this home. That is why really it's still here, because it's too heavy to move. But I loved it, and the detail she put into it was really great. And her presentation was fantastic. And that was Joy Matabula. So,
somebody asked, what was the name of the app again? The app that you used for the
Timekeeper. Okay. Now this project, I also love. When I first have a class of students, my first time having a class, I do a project called the Math Autobiography Project. Now instead of them having to write a paper or do a newsletter, I tell them they have to be really creative. And the more creative, the better. And I give them a bunch of questions that I want them to answer about how they feel about math, what was their good experiences, their bad experiences. And I take all that information, and it helps me know how to reach that child, how to connect to that learner, so that way I can make sure that they can like math by the end of the year. So I got this one this year. I've never got a project like this before in my life. They took all the questions and answered them, and they put the answers to the questions on the block, right? So all on the outside is the answers to all their questions. Very beautiful graphically, it's all nice. And if that was it, I would be like, okay, that's different. Instead of giving me a paper, you put it on a block. But that's not it. They made this into a logic puzzle. So each piece comes apart, and it's all different. And basically, he took it apart and was like, okay, now I want you to put it back together. He took all the pieces apart. I had to put it back together and make sure all the answers were on the outside of this puzzle. Now, I love logic puzzles. He knows that. So not only did he appeal to me, he appealed to himself because he likes logic puzzles as well. It's like our connection. But it's so cool. So sometimes when I'm bored, I just kind of play the puzzle. And what I found out is that there's many different ways to solve it. But how creative is that, right? And of course, I kept it because I'm just like, this is really great. But I've gotten some really fantastic creative projects for the Math Autobiography Project. But even having this example tells the students how much more they can push their thinking about how to be creative about how they feel about math. Okay.
M. Lee says she loves your outfit, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
And Miss Coss says she misses your face.
Miss Coss. My math earrings, my pi symbol, pink. Yes, I know. My pie necklace. Okay. So what else? Oh, my pillows. So I got these pillows actually before I came to RCA, but I love, these are my two favorite, especially this one because it's true. No. And then thanks for the compliment. I just love them because, you know, they take those fun math jokes and make them more tangible. The best thing is when the students first come in, they might not know a concept. They might not understand like FOIL yet. And they see the pillow the whole year. And then it's really great when they have that aha moment at the end of the year and they're like, oh, that's why the pillow, oh, I love the pillow. And they want to hold the pillow because they like it so much. I also have my clocks. I don't think they're set to the right time, to be honest with you. I think some of them are kind of dead. But I have my clocks for the different zones. I picked Tokyo and London when I first came to the school, mainly because I heard about the trips to Tokyo and London that the students went to. And so I want to keep those same things. But I love the fact that the students have to solve math to find out what time it is. And of course, I have to highlight my sorority because I am a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So there's little sorority shout outs all throughout my room, which I think is awesome. Okay, these creatures from my room. Well, I guess I should talk about it in general. The reason why my room is a video game room is because, as I said before, Mr. Clark and Miss Bearden, they want us to figure out a way to make this room become ours, make it feel more like a home. So they wanted us to take something personal and relate it to kids. So before I got hired, I got my doctorate from Columbia University in New York, and I did my research on how you can use video game technology to teach math. And I did my research on a game called Times Attack, and these creatures are from that game. Times Attack is on, the website is bigbrains.com, and brains has a Z instead of an S, bigbrains.com. And it was mainly for third graders to learn the multiplication tables, but now it's like kindergarten all the way up to sixth grade. It's addition, subtraction, division, multiplication is everything. And there's two characters, there's a boy character and a girl character. It's a really great game. So because I did my research on video games and computer gaming and using that with math, I figured why not make it a video game room? But it's not the games that, you know, they play now. It's the games that I played when I was in middle school. And that is why I have my Mario Brother wall and my Tetris wall. And there's a hidden message I hope you guys saw. Math. And my Pac-Man wall. Eventually I have to put a bow on that, Mr. Bernadin. Like there has to be a bow on the Pac-Man. I gotta work on it. I gotta make it Mrs. Pac-Man. And then the creatures for my dissertation. Okay, keep on coming.
Somebody said that they actually visited in June and that their kids are using Manga High and they love it.
Oh, okay, so I'm really big on gaming, period. So Time Attack is too young for my current students. So I use mangahigh.com, and I'm so happy that somebody loves it because I think it's a great way. Because the Manga High game, the reason why I like that so much is it takes the math and the game and embeds it. So it's not like, oh, shoot a basket, answer a question, dribble this, answer a question. Like the math is so much in the game, you can't do anything in the game without answering, like figuring out the math. It's like embedded. So that's mangahigh.com, and they have a lot of free games, all about the free. And the other game system that I use is Dimension U. And Dimension U is like a real video game. You know, it looks like a real video game. And all the kids play in the same environment. And they have all of these, I guess they can make avatars. The more they play, they can buy things. They can have superpowers like to fly, to jump really high. The kids love it. In fact, I gave them Dimension U homework. So instead of them having regular homework, they got to play video games for homework. They love that. And that is DimensionU.com. They're also one of our partners here at the school.
What grade levels does Time Attack work for?
Time Attack is kind of more like kindergarten through sixth grade. Last time I was on there, I saw they were building some eighth grade content, so it might even get higher. But when they first started, it was third grade, so they're just expanding out. In time, there'll be more and more. But it's a single player game, so they're going to be, it's an RPG. Oh, I'm sorry, let me break that down for people that don't speak video games. It is a real role play game. So they play single player. And Dimension U is multiplayer. You can play single player, but you can also play in the same world and see everybody around you. They have, Dimension U has a racing game, a capture the flag game, a game like Candy Crush, and the game that's like a kiddie version, a very basic version of Halo. Like kiddie version, like with slime. That's fun. And then the Manga High games are more about like using logic, using the actual concepts like equations and angles and circumference and area, Pythagorean theorem. So that's, Manga High goes from third grade all the way to 12th grade. Dimension U goes from third grade to 12th grade. And Time Attack, I think that's more kindergarten through 6th or through 8th. Okay, so, still making our way around. So this is a real working arcade. And I love this because it has all of the games that I played when I was little. So come on over here. We have Donkey Kong, we have Frogger, Burger Time. I was obsessed with Burger Time on my Atari. Yes, I had an Atari. And all that's still here. So I like it because, you know, the kids can actually play it because it still works. You don't have to worry about putting any money, it's all free. Okay, and then, so there's one modern game that was here. Because at the time when I started teaching here in 2011. And I was obsessed with Angry Birds, like obsessed. So there's Angry Birds all throughout my room because of it. So there's one here, and my desk is one big Angry Bird. Just kind of cool.
Someone asked about licensing for some of the things that you're using. So like for Dimension U, they asked about licensing and how they could obtain that for the classroom.
So if you go to their website on DimensionU.com, they actually have all that information there. And they have class versions, they have district versions, they have individual versions, and school versions. It's all there. Okay, let's go here. So, because if you notice, we don't have a lot of stuff up on our walls. We don't use word walls here. We don't tape things up. I got permission to put these names up only because it already fits the decor of my room. So the high scoreboard was already in my room, and I just put the names up to reflect it. So what these names are from is I taught 6 classes this year. I taught pre-algebra. I taught 2 splits of pre-algebra. I taught honors algebra, and geometry. Honors algebra and geometry are all high school level, and pre-algebra is 7th and 8th grade math. Now mind you, past year I taught 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. So they are getting higher level math. The cool thing about the kids here is that every child here graduates with at least 1 year of high school math completed. Some students have the opportunity of graduating with 2 years of high school math, their algebra and their geometry. So it depends on how they're split by ability after the 6th grade. So all these represent the different classes. So what I did is at the end of each week, I would put my grades in, see where everybody stood, and I would put the top 5 students on the board for each of the classes. Now the first year I did it, it was an experiment. I honestly thought that it was gonna be the same kids every week. I thought, this is not gonna work well because it's gonna be the same kids and people aren't gonna try. I was so wrong because not only did they try, it was like they were striving to get on that board. And I would post it on social media, like who made the top 5 that week, and parents would react, and the parents would say like, oh, this is great. Like my child's really trying to get on the board. So it made it like even stronger. Then the next year, I changed them in different colors. So our school is kind of like Harry Potter, and every house has a different color. So I decided to put the student's name in their house color. So we have green for Isabendi, we have blue for River, we have red for Amistad, and the black house is all Turismo, but you can't put black on black. So I actually made it yellow just so we could see it. And the cool thing is, what I found is when I did that, what would happen is when they would have their house meetings, the students would get together and say, okay guys, we have to make Dr. Jones' whole board blue. So how can we support each other? I thought that was really great because the houses are arranged like from 5th through all the way to 8th grade, so they're all mixed up together. So to see how they were supporting each other to try to make the board one color, like tutoring, all that kind of stuff was awesome. So great idea. If you want to use it, you can. And so to make the incentive even better, I let all 5 students in that class that are on that board for that week, they get to control the active tables, because I said I had 5 active tables. So they get to control the active tables. The top 2 students, if there's time at the last 5 minutes of class, the top 2 students get to play the GameCube. And the top 1 student, the first place student, this is their chair during class. Now you can only imagine how much they really want to sit here during class because it swings, it's having fun, they can still see the board. This is like their reward. So they all...
That is my favorite chair. That's where I sit. To actually see me in it, hold on one second.
Oh goodness. Okay. That's right. Oh, I double clicked it. How do I flip it back? Hi.
All right.
Oh my gosh, Mr. Bernadin.
Yeah, but I like it though. It's so comfortable and snug. And...
Mr. Fleming said don't do it.
Hold up, Mr. Fleming.
Mr. Fleming is always in that chair, so I don't know what he's talking about, Mr. Fleming. Okay. Okay, then I have my little trophy case that has all the awards that I've gotten. And I gotta say, I'm really proud of the students here because every year I do the math counts competition, the video challenge, and I did it for the last 3 years, 2014, 2015, this past year, 2016. And every year, the students have become finalists, and then they win the whole thing. So I'm really extremely proud of them. So this is my little video challenge little section because they all won. And two of the 2014 students and the 2015 students, they got invited to the White House Science Fair because of the win. Math Counts flew them up there, and they got a formal invitation. They got to meet President Barack Obama. They got to meet Joe Biden. They got to meet John King. It was like great. So the students who just won, We're waiting to see what's going to happen because we don't know who's going to be president and how they're going to do something or if we're going to be invited. But I hope they get invited as well because they worked really hard. And all their videos are on the mathcounts.org website, so you can see each year because they won each year. Go to the winners, look for first place. They won each year. You can see the video they created. But the videos actually find a fun way of teaching math concepts. So they say something hard like systems of equations, word problems. And they take the word problem, they act it out and explain how to solve the math. So, of course, it was hilarious and fun and exciting. The group that just won, they did a whole rap song. It was awesome. And then, this one, and I'm gonna work on making it like more professional. But this is my presidential award that I got last summer. And there's President Obama's signature. Oh, I love this thing. For being the Presidential Award Math Teacher for the state of Georgia. And I was actually the only teacher recognized for the state of Georgia. And it was a really great honor that the National Science Foundation picked for me. And last year, what happened?
Now, someone said that they're watching this with their 8-year-old son and he wants to be in your class.
Isn't it cool? Of course, because the video games, right? And then I was excited because last year I also got certified again as a National Board Certified Teacher. So I'm really excited about that because I was certified for 10 years. Then you have to go through it again to get recertified. And so now I am going to be 20 years National Board Certified. So if anyone needs a mentor for that, hit me up because I know that process can be a bit challenging. Okay. Let's see. Ooh. Do you want to talk about what's in here? That's you. Mr. Bernadin is in charge of all of our technology, so I think he should take this over. Okay.
All right, this is actually one of our lovely laptop carts that we originally used as a donation that we received from Reading Plus years ago. It had some netbooks in here, and the kids were using them as part of the Reading Plus program. But then this year as well, we got a wonderful donation from Promethean, some iPads. And these iPads that are in here are actually used during our educator training workshop. So Dr. Jones has a variety of workshops that she does here for educator training. One of them is geared towards classroom technology and resources that you can use in your classroom. And the other is geared towards ClassFlow, a really cool product that Promethean has, where you can kind of pretty much allow the data to flow through the room and kind of make its way, make its way to all the students, but also allow the students to give some feedback as well. This year we're kind of really excited because we're going to be deploying a one-to-one initiative again, but this time using iPads, which is so much better, for our environment. And we're working on a couple of things here, so we're really excited.
Yay! Sorry, I love technology and one-to-one because that's great. And I teach all of our lessons during ClassFlow. Oh, I just got emailed that I'm going through the process to be officially a ClassFlow ambassador. It's a new program they have, so I'm excited about that. And one last thing.
Somebody said they saw your teaching at the conference. You're amazing.
Oh, and I taught at ISTE. Yes, that was fun. And that was only with like 10 or 12 kids. Imagine what the whole class would be fun. All right, this is the last thing in my class, I think. That's out. Everything else has been packed up already. But, so, these, of course, I probably should take this with me next week to Comic-Con because it'd be really great. But anyway, these are the capes that the students can earn. So if a student gets 100% on a test or a quiz, like nothing wrong, they get to wear a cape for the day. And of course, they're all in the colors of the different houses. So I have 4 capes because we have, like I said before, 4 different houses. So it's really cool because the kids, these are like adult-sized capes. So the capes kind of drag as they walk, or they'll run down the hallway with the cape flying, and it's kind of funny. But they are so excited about having to wear it or getting to wear it. And then I take a picture and post it on social media, and they can see the whole, their whole family can see them in the capes during the school year. So it helps students strive for that 100, which is what I kind of want them to do, is try to strive to be high achievers.
Mr. DeVico said, blackout on your house.
This one right here is the best one. It's a nice, subtle, kind of dreamy color. And it's better than any other color that there is because this is the best house at our school.
We noticed, someone said they noticed that you grabbed a red one first.
No. See, what happened was, this is intense pink, actually. And what happened was,
Somebody
Okay.
said, it's a bendy. And I see Red House is the best. Okay, it's starting a house war again.
No house battle. We are all one family. We all love each other, and we are so happy that the house champions, which is Amistad, won. Congratulations, house leader over there. Very proud of them. And if you notice, every house is represented in my classroom. I don't discriminate houses. Well, that's the tour of my class. And again, I wanted to give you this tour because it's not going to look like this. So if you come back this fall, it's going to look different. So I wanted to document the way it looks now because it's been like this for 5 years, and I'm going to change some things up, and there's going to be one big change as well. So stay tuned.